Hey guys, Jason here, 410 Real Estate. Hey, I wanted to talk with you today about a new phenomenon we're seeing in the rental world. But before I do that, I would love it if you'd hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be made aware of when we post these kinds of videos, and hit that like button, which would really mean a lot to us as well. But we'll jump right in here to this discussion. This market, as we've talked about in my market updates, is a crazy one. We focus a lot on the fact that it's a crazy one on the sales side, but it is as well on the rental side. I think what a lot of people don't know is that everything is negotiable, both on the rental side and on the sales side. And that property owners here in Arizona have the right to achieve their best end result as long as they don't step outside of the bounds of the law or ethics. And so the reason I bring this up is because we're starting to see things like bidding on rentals. So let's say there's a property and there's 20 different people that apply for a property, and people are starting to offer more than the rental listed price. They're starting to offer 2 or 3 year leases. They're starting to offer faster move-in dates. There's just a bunch of things that they're starting to do to try and make their application more attractive. Very similar to the buying side, where people are offering, higher than list price offers, asking for no closing costs, even sometimes paying sellers costs, which we've never seen before, waiving appraisal contingencies, waiving inspection contingencies, all of these things just in an effort to get their offer accepted by the owner of the property. On the rental side, in that case, by the landlord of the property. So where do we come in as property managers? I want to just make this clear because there has been some confusion recently. There's been some public discussion about it, and I wanted to just make sure that our position as 410 Real Estate is out there for everyone to understand. When we post a property for lease, we do so after speaking with the landlord, giving them the comparable rental amounts in the neighborhood, sharing with them what our marketing process is going to be, and so forth. We then take the price that the owner directs us to put out there, and we take that to market. We put that out there on advertising. We solicit showings. People go out, they take a look at the property and decide if they're going to apply or not. Once they've made the decision that they want to apply for the property, we may have one applicant, which is fantastic, and we can look at that application on its merit, send it to the owner, get a decision. Or we might have 20 applicants, in which case we would look at the merits of each of those applications on their own, and we would say, okay, what's the move-in date? What's the length of the lease they're asking for? Do they have pets? Those sorts of things. Do they meet the income requirements that they have to? What's their criminal background? What's their credit history? Do they have evictions or judgments? All those things. Those are the kinds of things we look at. However, there are opportunities where tenants are willing to pay more than the advertised list price. In that case, in order to maintain an honest and fair and equitable way of doing things, which is what our responsibility is, we then offer that same opportunity to every applicant that we have for that property to give us their highest and best offer to present to the owner. Do they have to change anything to be considered? No, and we tell them that in the email. Do they have to, is it always about price? No, it's not always about price. In fact, sometimes price is not even the biggest factor, because if a tenant were to offer $50 higher a month for the rental, but then not move in for a month, now the owner's lost a $2,000 monthly rent payment for a $50 monthly increase, which makes no sense. So it's not just about the price, it's about the overall picture: price, move-in date, length of lease, and then quality of the tenant. If everything else is equal, we look at quality of the tenant through those fields that I mentioned to you. So what's the concern? I think people think out there that the market is tough, and I fully acknowledge that. And I know it's tough for renters. I know it's tough for buyers right now. This is what I do full time. We see that in and out every day. And I want to be clear that that's the case. I don't think we are naive to that, nor would I think that we would say that we don't care about that situation. What I will say is we are hired by the owners of a property to manage their rental investment property to get them the highest rate of investment return possible. And that could be through monthly rent. That could be through qualities of tenants so that they're not having tenants that trash places when they move out. That could be through our marketing strategies so that we don't have large periods of vacancy for owners. There's multiple ways that we're looking to achieve their highest and best return on investment. I think there's a lot of people that think that rental properties do not function the same way as sale properties, and that if we put a home on the market for $2,000 a month for a 12-month lease, that's it. And we should just look at the first application and say yes or no, when that's really not the case legally. That's not the case from a fiduciary standpoint to our owners. And as much as we would like to help everyone in their individual circumstances, we also have to look at things about fair housing. We can't discriminate in the positive or the negative for things like, race, religion, orientation, familial status, gender, all those different things that are protected, disability. We can't look at those things that are all protected by law and make a decision in the positive or the negative. So we have to leave everyone on the same level playing field and look at strictly the numbers on paper and the qualities of the tenants. I know sometimes tenants send us letters giving us their personal stories and all sorts of things. Unfortunately, we typically don't provide those to owners because there may be some things in there that are fair housing violations, and we don't solicit those from tenants. We don't say, please tell us more about your personal circumstances or personal situation. The only time we'll ask for more info is if we need something like, can you explain this judgment on your record? Can you explain why you were 3 months late in rent? Can you explain your job history because you're self-employed? We need to see your tax returns for further information. It's going to be strictly questions about the merit of your application. All that to say, and I know I've rambled for about 5 or 6 minutes now, but all that to say, we care about our tenants. We care about your personal situation. In the event the application on a bidding situation is not accepted, we do refund those extra application fees. We want you to be made whole. The only time that we charge you that fee and it's non-refundable is when we run your application and give you a legitimate shot. But if we have 3 applications that are so much stronger than the other 17, and we're going to choose one of those 3, then we're going to refund the other 17 application fees because that's the right thing to do. I know how hard it is to go out there and spend $50 at each time that you're applying for a rental just to be told, sorry, tough luck. And that's not what we want to do. We have value for our prospective tenants and our current tenants. At the same time, we do work for the owner and we do represent their best rental investment return in their best interest. That's where stewardship comes in. Being a good steward of their assets means that we're putting in the highest quality tenants with the best return on investment for our clients. I hope that makes sense. I hope that maybe helps shed some light on why we do things the way we do it. And I hope you can see my heart through this, because my heart is definitely not one of greed or one of trying to cause hardship for anybody or make it harder to rent a property. That's not it at all. And I really hope you see that. If you don't, sometimes we don't see eye to eye. I'll still love you. I'll still be your friend. But I understand. I just wanted to get this message out to you. If this was helpful, please share it with a friend. Even if it wasn't helpful and you just want the message to get out there from me, I'd appreciate you sharing it with a friend or sharing it in any groups you might be a part of, so that they can hear my heart and hear what we're all about here at 410. But otherwise, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch as I rambled on for 7 or 8 minutes. But I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you again next time.